All right, yo, folks, we are live. All right, let's make sure everything in the stream here gets going the way it's supposed to be. Hey, everyone. It's Wednesday the 31st. Oh, gosh, it's the last day of March. I cannot believe... Well, I kind of can believe. I cannot believe just how fast this year is going by. It seems like, compared to last year, where it seemed like the month of March, or even half of the month of March, just it was like a year long. And man, we're already back there. We're already past that point where everyone shut down and school shut down and life shut down for a lot of people, but kept going in other ways. So, it's been a crazy minute. Okay, I'm just getting all my windows set up, so that makes me happy. That's not what I want to do. Do. All right. Wish I could do a little better job of. I wish I could do a little bit better job of thinking about what I'm going to say before I say it. Of stacking my windows here, so it makes a little more sense. That's okay. I'll figure it out. Minimize that. And actually, I realize I need to... You're going to see some info on the screen. I just need to change a setting on here because we are operating at 60 frames per second this time. Just for funsies. I think my YouTube has that set up, but honestly, I'm not sure. I can't quite remember, and I don't think I can change it on the fly, but I could be wrong. Anyway, my camera's set for 60 frames per second. I don't know if excuse me. Woo! Just had lunch. I don't know if that's gonna reflect on the stream here, but all right, enough fiddling with that. You guys came here for watching stuff, not me playing on my computer. All right, so let's get caught up to speed this morning. I had a dentist appointment, first dentist appointment in a while, since all of the world came to a halt for a bit. That went well. That was fun. Dentist, fun, exciting, enjoyable. But it was nice. My teeth feel all clean now. It's weird. And then we did a lot of gardening outside today. We did some gardening yesterday. We filled up a little flower bed container in the front. Had the kids help with that. That was a lot of fun. Letting them get dirty and planting some flowers and plants, and hopefully they don't die. And then today, the wife and the daughter were out back. They have a little garden box that I built for them. Well, I built for my wife about 10 years ago or so. And that was... They were filling that up with some vegetables, so hopefully over the summer we'll be getting some tasty veggies. And it's really good for the kids to, sort of plant something and kind of see and feel the process of planting vegetables and taking care of a living thing. They get to kind of see the fruits of their labor. Speaking of fruits of labor, my son, my 5-year-old, he hit a milestone today. He actually did something really, really cool. He finished saving up money for a video game. His first video game that he's ever bought himself. And he's 5. I mean, I didn't save up for my first video game until, I was probably 8 or 9 years old, something like that. He's been, doing weekly chores around the house for allowance and odd jobs. And it's not necessarily that the work that he does is, how do I want to put this delicately, helpful. Well, he is helpful. He unloads and loads up the dishwasher, or at least he helps me with that. I get all the big stuff, and he puts away the little things and helps unload it and load it back up again. He's getting better at it. And he also helps clean up little odd jobs. So our philosophy between my wife and I were that regular chores for like cleaning up their own toys or putting away their own laundry or stripping their bed for their sheets and stuff, that's stuff that's like personal to them. That's just stuff that you do. That's not things that you get paid for. And people generally don't get paid for that. But things that, are kind of like mom and dad chores that we don't really want to do, but we want, to give them an opportunity to start learning how to work and learning the value of work. We let them do for money. So like my daughter cleans the bathroom and sweeps up around the house. I mean, that's stuff that, me and my wife could do, but we don't want to do it. And they do contribute to the mess. And then my son works on the dishes on a regular basis. And so it's not so much, for us, it's not so much about, the quality of the work. It's more about the routine. It's about making sure that they have something to do regularly that they can associate with value. Because we want to teach them, value and money and basically what your labor is worth. Someday they're going to figure out what minimum wage is, and they're going to be like, oh man, been doing all this work for $2 a week. You're ripping us off, mom and dad. Well, 5 and 7 year olds, you can get away with that. But, so, I've been having my son pull weeds out in the front, and I'll be honest with you, I'm just going to spray the weeds anyway. I mean, it's the work that he's doing is, it's not so much for being helpful, but more along the lines of teaching him how to do a job and to stick with it. So yeah, I'm going to go through, and he filled up like 3 or 4 buckets full of weeds and earned some money with that. I told him, if you fill up this bucket, I'll give you $2 for that. And he went and, it took him a while to do it, but he went and filled up that bucket, a few times over and dumped it. And he's been earning some money slowly but surely. And yeah, I'm just going to spray all the weeds anyway, but it's not about that. It's not about whether, the work at that age, whether the work is all that valuable. At that age, it's really more valuable that I teach him the lesson. That's more valuable to me, is that he's learning that work ethic and, things like sticking with a job, and he's been having a lot of trouble with, he'll work for a little bit and then he'll get distracted and go ask us, hey, am I doing a good job? Am I doing a good job? And I'm like, you've only been out there for 5 minutes. You can't be doing a good job because you're in here talking to me. You're supposed to be out there doing the job. But, teaching him little lessons like that, to stay focused, to stay on task, that's honestly what I'm paying him for. He just doesn't really know it or see it that way yet. But all that to say, he's finally saved up enough money to buy a video game that he's had his eye on for a long time. He plays a lot with his Mario Legos, and I swear we've gone on a few walks this past week, and no fewer than 10 strangers in this town now know that my son has Super Mario Legos. Because just everyone we walk by, we took him to the dentist yesterday. At least 3 people at the dentist now know that he has Super Mario Legos. It's cute. It's adorable, but we need to start having that conversation about talking to strangers maybe pretty soon in the near future. But yeah, he finally saved up for a video game, and he's been looking at Super Mario Maker 2 for a long time. It's a little older video game by this point, but it's sort of that same concept. You're building your own Mario levels, and that's what he's been doing with his Mario Legos. So it kind of fits that he would be into that sort of game. And of course, it's on my Nintendo Switch. And what he doesn't know is that I bought the game weeks ago when it was on sale. And And I told him that, hey, the price went down. It's not on sale anymore, but it was on sale. You know, it was like $60 and then down to I think like 37 or something on the Nintendo eShop. But so I went ahead and bought it because I was like, well, it's going to be easier for him to save up. And then we just told him a few weeks ago, yeah, it's on sale. It's cheaper. So, you know, when you save up your money, if you save up $37, I think it was $37, you save up $37, you can get your game. Well, today was the day he finally saved up $37. So he got to hand over his money, and I was just like, oh, yeah, let's go buy this game. And I'd already bought it. I just re-downloaded it. But you know, now he's in there playing it, and he's actually doing pretty good. I just checked in on him. He's already made his first level and completed it. And I'm like, dude, you're 5. Like 5.5 years old. And he's already figuring this stuff out. I didn't get video games until I was 8. I'm just saying. Maybe I was 7. Yeah, 7. I was 7 years old before I got to have a Nintendo. Kids these days are so spoiled. But yeah, that's why they're in there and not out here. They're playing their new game, and that's fine. It's spring break for them, so yeah. Okay. We should get in on what we're doing today with our woodworking, which is what we're all here for. All right. So we have our to-do checklist, and let me get SketchUp up and running. I see that there's just one person in here. That's okay. I don't mind that at all. It's a nice little tight-knit group. But yeah, let me get this SketchUp up and running. Okay. All right, so let's just remember where we're at here. So far, we've built out the box of the base, and then we have these little frames. There's one down here, and then if I can actually rotate this. Oop, that's Control to rotate. And then exactly the same one up here as well. And this should all be 3/4 inch material. Yep, 3/4 inch material. Then I have the exploded view over here. So this is going to be the frame. This is going to be 2 of these. And let me switch to perspective here so it looks a little less weird. Okay, so according to my plans, all this should be about 1.5 inches thick. Wide, thick, whatever you want to call it. So basically I'm going to be ripping boards 1.5 inches for everything. And I have a pine board leaning up that I'm going to try and get as much out of it as possible. You should all be 3/4 inch width. I think I just measured that. Yeah, 3/4 inch on all of these. So let's just look at our measurements here. We're going to have, let's see, we are all the way through on the outside, so 22.5. And then on the inside is going to be 30. I got to make sure not to accidentally look at this 31.5 when I'm doing that. So maybe I want to take this 30 and bring it. I don't really like it on the inside there. Maybe, nah, I'll just leave it where it was. Okay, so 22.5 and then 30s. Let's see, I got an 8-foot piece of pine, so probably get most of this out of one strip, but I'm going to have to make 2 of these, and then I have some 21s on the inside. So, yeah. All right. And then I have a paper copy of all this, too, so let me bring this up in the corner here. Hey, Alberto. I didn't see what you wrote because you deleted it. What's up, Alberto? How's it going? All right. Check our business here. All right, I think we're about ready to get started with this. So, yeah, our checklist, we need to make those frames, the top and bottom there. This is where we left off. I didn't even move this since yesterday. I briefly thought about coming out and working on this a little bit more just off camera, but I was like, you know what? I've got other things I can do. I ended up spending a lot of time with the family yesterday, which was really nice. Honestly, I need to learn to pace myself, and it's spring break. There's no reason to put in 6 to 8 hours a day working on specifically just this, when one, I have lots of other things to do, and two, hey, we're all off for spring break, so might as well enjoy it while we can. All right, so I'm going to try and get most of this done with pine. So this pine board, but if I run out of pine, well, honestly, I have more pine lying around I could just steal from. But I also have plywood too. At least for the top part, I want to do pine because it's going to be easier to drill through, and I can put screws into the tabletop when I put this on. It'll be a little sturdier that way. The bottom part I could do out of plywood if I have to, but I'm gonna try and keep it do as much out of pine as I can. So let's scoot you guys over. I also took off my on my camera. I took off the image stabilization since I'm on. I realized I still had that on, so I took that off, which should widen out the shot just a little bit. I'm doing good, Alberto. I was just kind of wasting the first 20 minutes just talking about my day. So, having fun, enjoying life. All right. We're going to need some safety glasses on. Oh, here's my clear ones. I have my yellows, but that gets a little... My yellow ones, it gets a little hard to take after a while. So, safety first. Here we go. And then roll some sleeves up. You know what? Just take this off. I don't care. It's a little warm today. It's actually going to get to, might even already be at this. It's going to get to like 83 today here. So, a little toasty. Color filters. Get these out of here. Where do I put this? I'll just stick those right there. I need a better spot for them. All right. So I'm ripping all of this to 1.5 inches. So we're just going to rip all this pine up to 1.5 inches and have done with it. That should be good. For staples, because a lot of times these boards have like a little tag stapled in the back. I really wish they use stickers rather than staples, because it's just a matter of safety. Home stores are what you're gonna do, right? That's straight enough. Okay, folks, we're about to have a headphone warning here. If you're wearing headphones, it's going to get loud in here, so watch out. got this hung up here. That happens sometimes in small spaces. You just gotta watch out for that. Not generally good to stop and cut in the middle, but if you have to, you have to. That's why I stopped my saw instead of trying to push it through or force it or anything like that. In fact, just move this so those pieces will fall down out of the way. Okay. All right. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so that broke. That's okay. It's a piece I don't need. So I just took that. That's probably more than I need, but the thing you got to watch out for when cutting pine from, just your big box home store is a lot of times you're going to, especially if you're cutting something kind of thin, a lot of times you're going to run into stuff like this where, you get this cheap knotty pine and, well, it's got knots in it. And those knots are often very brittle, fragile. So when you cut narrow strips, there's a good chance that, you're going to have a knot located in a space which basically covers the entire strip and just, it snaps off because it's brittle, it's not very stable. And so that is something you got to watch out for if you are using this type of material. You got this one, like this one isn't all the way through here. You can see this knot, but you got this one right here is like, oh yeah, that's about to crack. So if I go like this, that just split so easy because it's just a really weak point. So that is something you got to watch out for if you're really planning to use every single bit of wood. You kind of have to buy a little bit more than you need, especially with this type of material, because there's a good chance that you're going to get some lengths. It's like, hey, I need this exact length, but it's broken in half. You have to just work around it. So I probably cut a little bit more than I need, but actually it is what I'm going to need most likely. I am probably going to be using the majority of this board. I can see a few other spots where it is a little bit. Some knots are actually really stable. Oh, this one's starting to crack in here. You can bend it. Most knots are going to crack, like this one right here. That one's going most of the way through. So basically, when you have something like this, you get a big knot like that. When you measure and mark and cut all your pieces, you just sort of measure around it so that, if you need 2 pieces or 3 pieces from this, well, you get 1 piece here, you skip this spot with this big knot in the middle, and then you start measuring, the rest of it. You just kind of work around it. little knots on the corner like this, that's not a big deal. Those probably aren't going to break as long as there's enough material in the rest of it to hold. You're probably good. So you just have to. Wood's a natural material. You just have to work around its defects and imperfections. Or get a species that doesn't have a bunch of knots like that. Or you can also, if you want, you can get pine that doesn't have a bunch of knots in it, but usually you either have to pay more for it or you have to hunt really hard for like a good deal in a big stack. Okay, so that's that. We're gonna stay hydrated today. I've not been staying hydrated enough, so if you're watching, don't forget to hydrate. Okay, let's just verify some of our measurements here before, since all this is going to have to fit inside this box, and there's a good chance that we have, we might be off by an eighth of an inch here or there, which is fine. I don't need to be super precise on this. Okay, so we're supposed to be 31.5 on the inside here. We're coming in at 31.5. Should be about the same on this side. We are coming in at 31.5 on this side. Might be a hair tight, but actually I prefer it that way. And then 22.5. Oh, that's the outside. So 22.5 on here. So we are coming in at exactly 22.5 on the inside here. And actually slightly less than 22.5, about 22 and 7/16. That's actually okay, and I know that's because when I was pocket holing these together, let me move my camera over a little bit. When I was pocket holing these together, I think I kind of slipped in, like I can feel a little ridge right here, about a 1/16 of an inch, so I'm not surprised if that came in a little bit, but honestly, a little bit tighter in this sort of situation is not that big a deal. Actually, I kind of prefer it because I can take my frame, I can build it out, and then I can take like a hand plane and I can shave it down in certain spots just so that it fits just perfectly. If it was too loose, I mean, it's not that big a deal. I can just make the frame slightly bigger. But if I make the frame and then the frame is too loose when I put it in here, then you kind of have to shim it up, and it's not going to be as stable, and I prefer not to do it that way. But yeah, we're looking really good on here. I'm pretty pleased with it. I haven't tested to see if this is square yet. I probably should have done that before it was done gluing. 40 3/8. There's a good chance it's going to be slightly out of square because I haven't put any reinforcement in here. And we're actually only about 1/8 of an inch out of square in this direction. Nice thing about being out of square in one direction is being out of square 1/8 of an inch in one direction means that you're really only out of square by 1/16 of an inch. So 1/16 of an inch out of square, I'll take it. For a garage that has an uneven floor and a bunch of contractor grade stuff, a 1/16 of an inch out of square is pretty nice. For something I just threw together with plywood and pocket holes. Yeah, for about $60. Not bad. Okay, let's start getting some rough cuts done. Okay, almost always I like planning out my cuts. Actually, let's put all these pieces up here so I can measure them a little easier. Nice thing about having this box done is I now have a platform that I can kind of set everything on now. Hey, how's it going?
Going great. How are you doing?
Oh, we just streaming. We streaming.
You streaming, huh?
We streaming.
Streaming all over.
A steady stream.
Yeah, streaming all over the place.
Streaming all over the place.
Hey, Lauer.
Hey, yes, Lauer.
I'm going to be going to Ace.
Ooh.
Do you require anything?
A gallon of primer. Might make it 2.
Just the 2? Are you sure? Double check. But for real though, I'm gonna go and get some stuff for our garden areas that we've been working on this week. I don't know if you've been telling your viewers. Oh,
I was telling them about the garden. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well I was thinking about getting.
Why don't you come around so people can see you? So you're hidden by a box there. So what are you gonna do?
What kind of filters do you have going on this? You got any good gram filters? No Insta filters. No Instagram.
No. This is not Instagram. It's YouTube. YouTube doesn't have filters. You got salad in your teeth.
It's the filter on your camera.
Yeah, it's the salad in your teeth filter. All right. So what's up? What are you getting from Ace? Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Now I'm all self-conscious. Did I get it?
No, it's over here on this side.
Okay.
They can't see it. You're facing the other direction.
I'll get it before I leave.
Okay.
Now I was going to get like the tackiest gnome that I could find to go in that little container out there.
Please don't.
No, I was going to get something cute though to go in that container.
Like a rabbit or a frog or...
A rabbit would be cute.
Yeah.
I'm not into frogs.
Not in a frog.
Our neighbor is, but not me. So
yeah,
I'll leave the frogs to her. But I like bunnies. I might do that. So
bunnies. Yeah,
just something cute to go in there, and then I'm gonna scope and see if they have anything cute that could go.
Yeah, but are you gonna sequence?
Scope and sequence. I see what you did there.
That's
teaching terminology.
That's an education joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna scope and sequence and see what I can find for. Maybe under the front window. And I was going to see if they had any more vegetables. Because we have a lot of space in the back planter. Mm-hmm. I mean, if we're watering it anyway, I might as well throw a couple more plants back.
Full of plants.
Yeah.
Kids love plants.
Yeah. And I was going to scope out...
You should take...
Chairs.
What?
I was going to scope out chairs.
We need more chairs.
Well, we don't have anywhere to sit out here.
Oh, because we got rid of all our chairs.
Because we got rid of all our chairs. Because all our chairs died. So I was going to see if they had any that were relatively inexpensive.
There should still be that Ace coupon on the counter by the air fryer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so, I'll grab that.
Yeah.
It's your cell number, right?
Yeah, my cell number.
Okay. Yeah. So, but for real though, your beautiful bride is going to the hardware store. And I'm offering to get you anything that you might need.
I don't think I need anything. 1.5 inch trim head screws.
1.5 inch trim head screws.
I'm joking.
Yeah, is that right up there with the gangly wrench?
The gangly wrench, yeah. Yeah.
The breastplate stretcher.
Blinker fluid. Yeah. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
No, I can't think of anything.
Okay. Well, I'll have my phone so you can text me. The children are eating their lunch.
Okay. I'm just measuring and marking.
Measuring. I think of that every time I see the little loop-the-loop go on Ring Fit Adventure, too. Every time. Measuring. That used to make me so self-conscious. Like, oh, God, you're standing here calculating my BMI, judging me.
Judging you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, you know.
Oh. We got out the triangle.
We got the triangle.
You gonna hit that with something? Call people to dinner?
It's actually a square bit.
Yeah.
Speed square.
Yeah.
Get it right or pay the price.
If we sing the Camp Anawana theme song, is somebody gonna slap us with a
C&D? Nickelodeon gonna... Does that salute your shorts? Yeah. That was a good show.
I should see if we can find that.
That was such a good show.
That was such a great show.
I don't know. Probably...
I wonder if it still holds up, though.
Yeah, I was thinking of like some of those old Nickelodeon shows, Pete and Pete and Alex Mack. Was that a Nickelodeon show?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder how some of those hold up. Like, were things done or said that are problematic now?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure there is. I was watching something and now I can't remember, and I was like, oh my God, this would not hold up today. Wow. And it's only a few years old.
You know, there was, like, back then, I want to say, like, you know, like the casual racism wasn't as, on the kids shows, you know, it's not like it was in the 50s and stuff, you know, where like Disney and Warner Brothers had like some blatantly problematic stuff. Yeah. Well, by today's standards,
right.
It's different, but I think like Native American stuff probably was still pretty prevalent.
Yeah.
In the 90s.
I was just reading a thing today.
Cowboys and Indians, and like my brother had Cowboys and Indian sets. Yeah. Like it was still a thing that you saw all the time.
I made dream catchers at summer camp like every year for 5 years because it was just the done thing. You know, it was a cool arts and crafts. Yeah. God's eyes too, which I think is
I have such a problem with, and I understand it. It's up to the culture to decide whether, you know, it's something that, you know, should be spread or should be sort of kept. Like, I know Japanese culture. The Japanese tend to be like, oh yeah, you know, engage in this culture stuff. You know, we like spreading our culture, and this is cool that you want to be engaged with this. And then some cultures are like, no, this is kind of sacred. Like, it's not for you to. It's not an arts and crafts thing. But right. I think absent of, you know, someone who is legitimately invested in that culture coming in and saying like, oh yeah, this is fine, it's no big deal, or no, this is actually really sacred and spiritual. I think it's kind of sad, you know, when you get people just kind of coming in without that information, making up their mind like, oh, this comes from another culture that you don't belong to, and
right.
you know, you're not allowed to do this.
Is it cultural exchange or is it cultural appropriation?
Exactly, right? And I think, I mean, there's no one right answer, but it requires a conversation to be had, a lengthy conversation, an ongoing conversation before you can really say one way or another that like, oh, is it bad to make? I legitimately don't know. Is it bad to make dream catchers? Is it, you know, is that okay? Is that like what's the jury say on that?
Well, you know, it's interesting. Speaking of Japan and cultural exchange versus cultural appropriation and how many animes we may or may not watch on the regular. Like
we watch a lot of anime.
How many of those animes that we may or may not watch have what is clearly supposed to be a Germanic setting with Germanic dress, but this is created by a place that is most definitely not Germany.
Oh, they are huge Anglophiles.
Axis powers, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we say Anglophiles about things to do with Germany, though. Like, even though technically...
Germanophiles?
Even though technically the Angles, the Saxons, and...
Because Francophiles is French, right?
Yes, Francophiles is someone who loves all things French.
Yeah.
Anglophile is someone who loves all things English. See our friend.
What's the ancient term for Germany? Is that Gaul or is that France?
Gaul would have been Germany and France. Like, it was kind of that wider. So I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure if it would be like a Germanophile or a Deutschophile. Somebody
Deutschophile. I think I've heard that before.
Somebody come into the chat and tell us how wrong we're being, please. But anyway, I think that's interesting because you have this example of people for whom that is certainly not their, I don't know if you want to say like native culture. I feel like that has connotations too. But you know, that's not from where they're from.
What if you get adopted into a different culture, you know, and you don't look like you're from that culture, but you've spent so much time married into that culture? Well, I mean, you know, not talking about foreign cultures, world cultures, but growing up, how many? I'm just going to use the terms that I grew up with and know, but how many white kids did we grow up with? And I'm from the Central Valley in California. You're from, you know, more of the around here, the Bay Area. So I don't know if it's a different, you know, different group of kids. But in the Central Valley, we had a lot of white kids grow up with, sort of black culture or Latino culture, and it wasn't exclusively one way or another. But I mean, how many across the country? How many white kids grew up listening to hip hop?
Eminem raises his hand.
Eminem and his millions of followers, millions of fans. How many people grew up listening to Eminem?
Wasn't it 50 Cent who said like he would never go into a rap battle with Eminem because he would?
Dude, savage. Yeah,
he's incredible. He has such a voice.
I remember so many kids who grew up with hip hop. And identify, and we're friends. Kind of rolled with the black kids or the Latino kids, or and like that's the culture they identify with. I'm not saying that they thought they were black or Mexican or Latino or whatever, but culturally speaking, that was their people. That's who they rolled with. That's who they identified with.
Well, remember when we were in college, not that long ago, kids. When we were in college.
It was long ago.
But remember Professor Don't Trip, Talk It Out? Remember him? So he was...
Porfy, yeah.
No, that wasn't Porfy.
That wasn't Porfy?
No, Porfy was...
Oh, yeah. That was, you're right, that was the other guy.
Yeah, the other guy. No, but he was Puerto Rican, right? But
Puerto Rican.
But the people that he hung out with growing up were black. And so the way that he spoke and carried himself leaned more into black culture than it did. And he even told us, he was like, my brother sounds nothing like me the way that he talks because he grew up hanging out with the Puerto Ricans, but I grew up hanging out with, and I forget what part of New York it was, maybe the Bronx or something. Anyway, I don't know the boroughs well enough to be able to speak on that. But I think that's interesting too. It's all about like, who are you spending your time with? Who do you identify with?
I've had students, without naming names or anything, but I've had students who are only a few years apart, where you could tell that they had emigrated to here at just at that point in time where like the brothers are maybe 2 years apart in school, and one of them is English is a complete second language. The older one, the not as good, with English, hangs out with all the other Latino kids, the other children of immigrants, the other immigrant teenagers, basically. And then you get the younger brother who's like, 2, 3, 4 years younger, and they hang out with all the American kids, because they came here, they were like, 7 or 8, and then the older brother was 11 or 12, and they're in high school together, but the older brother sounds nothing like the younger brother, and they hang out with different circles, different groups, and it's you can tell the similarities, but they identify with different cultures, they hang out with different people.
That happened to my neighbors. You remember the British neighbors around the corner?
Right, yeah.
So they came here when the older son was old enough to talk already, and so he still has a very, like, these people sound like they were from London. They have a very posh London accent, and so does he. And in fact, he lives over there now. He's practicing law, I believe.
Right.
But the younger brother didn't really know any of that yet, and he never had an English accent. He's always just sounded like he was from California. So,
yeah.
Anyway, you're not going to start that, right? Because I don't have anything on my...
No, I'm just lining it up.
Okay.
But I'm going to start.
Safety first.
Rocking second.
And with that, I will leave you because I came in here like 20 minutes ago to ask you if you want anything from Ace.
Yeah.
A helpful place. All right, so I'm going to go scope some stuff out. I'm going to hit Ace, and then I'm going to hit Trader Joe's on the way home as well. Do you need any coffee, creamer, or anything like that? You still doing good on there?
For now, yeah. Okay.
Alrighty. I'll let you do it. Have fun.
Will do.
Okay. I'm going to put this in there for the kids.
Well, that was fun. That was a nice little aside. I enjoy that. All right, so I just made a cut here. Yeah, those are fun little conversations to have. You know, as a teacher, as an educator, it's important to have those little conversations from time to time. You know, it's kind of uncomfortable when you're not used to it because you know, it's just never a comfortable conversation to have, and it should be a little bit, you know, a little bit that way. But you know, as a teacher, it's kind of like you kind of have to have those conversations. You know, you have to talk about, you know, you have to be thinking about where your students are coming from, really where your clients are coming from. If you think about it in business terms, you know, these are your clients, these are your patients, you know, the people that you're working with, and you have to work with them on their level. You have to understand them from their level, from their point of view. You know, it's not good enough to just look at it from your own point of view because, you know, they're not you. And especially if you go into a classroom and you don't look like 80% of the students you're teaching, you really have to you have to set part of yourself aside and try to get in their heads a little bit and understand where they're coming from. And it's not just, you know, race and culture and stuff like that, but, you know, economic, from an economic standpoint, you know, poverty levels. I work in a district where, you know, that's a reality for a lot of families. You know, they're on the lower income brackets. You know, they have their family members working. Sometimes high school students themselves may be working, and that's why they can't get to school on time, or they may be working late. I mean, technically it's not legal, but, you know, you got to feed your family. So what are you going to do, right? And just coming at it from that understanding, like, you know, hey, this kid has trouble getting to class on time, you know, to school on time in the morning. You know, is it because he doesn't want to learn, or because, you know, he doesn't have a ride, he doesn't have reliable transportation? You know, getting in their world and sort of finding out, like, hey, what's making you tick, and then how can I, you know, use that to give you a better education. And it's tricky. There is never a one size fits all solution to it. But, you know, you do your best. You make an effort. You don't get tripped up. You don't get too hard on yourself when, you know, a student doesn't get it, because that's going to happen. You're going to have some students who get it and some who don't. And, you know, you do what you can, but you don't lose too much sleep at night if you can help it, because there's going to be a job to do again the next morning. So, all right. So I cut that a little bit wide. I actually made 4 cuts. So I'd like to start with my longest cuts first. And so this one is 30 inches. So I cut 4 of those since I need 2 per frame and I need 2 frames. So I actually cut that 30 into half to be a little bit wider. And the reason for that is because I want I wanted to clean cut these ends. A lot of times when you get wood from the lumber yard or the big box store, you have the ends aren't going to be perfectly square. You probably can't see this from the camera, but this is not perfectly square, perfectly clean cut. It's a little crooked. So if I just roll with that, it's not going to come together very, very clean. So I actually, when I measured this, I cut it a little bit wide, about ½ an inch extra, so that I can come and true it up from the other side. That's going to work pretty well for me. So we're at 30 inches right here. Just going to line this across. That's going to be reasonably accurate. Double check that. Okay, yeah, we're at 30. Okay, the next piece is going to be 22.5. So the nice thing is, now that I've got this piece cut on, not that end, but this end, I can just go ahead and start cutting from there. I know one of these pieces is going to have a pretty big knot in it. Is it this one? Oh, maybe not. Oh, wait. Here we go. That's not too bad. Yeah, that's not cracking or anything, so. Let's actually mark this first. I'm just going to leave them stacked this way. I think I'll get a better result. Here it is. I'm really looking forward to having this workbench done. Once this workbench is done, I'm going to be able to do so much more. You've probably seen that I have my compound miter saw over there. It's kind of in a bad spot, and what I really need to do is remake the bench for it so that it has a nice some support on it. That's really what I want to have for that. Might even, I might even be able to move it to there. That would be a good spot for it. But yeah, I got a lot of things to work on. Once this workbench is done, though, I'm going to be able to do so much other stuff. I'm really excited. 22.5. All right. 22.5. Right in the middle. Mark. Oh, that's all. Is that my cut? That is my cut end, huh? This is. Oh no, this is my cut end. Okay. Well, that's different. Okay. Well, I know one of those sides has a big knot in it, so actually, what I'm going to do is make a clean cut just on the end, and just. That's why I need to rearrange this shop a bit. This garage. I'm just going to make a little clean cut on the end here. Alright, now that means I'm going to need to remeasure this. And remark that across. Okay. There's those pieces right there. All right, we're making good progress. And then I'm going to need some at 21. Now, I've got this piece. Yeah. So I got a big crack in this piece. I could probably get away with using this, but a big knot. I can see it starting to form a crack a little bit. So actually, I'm gonna toss that one aside. I'm gonna check the rest of my pieces, see how stable they look. I have some knots, but nothing really threatening any stability. Let me check, and I'm pretty sure this is long enough. I'm certain of it. Yeah, 20. These need to be 21. Yeah, 21. These should be cut from both sides now. Okay. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to cut an extra piece off of here. I'm actually going to cut it a little bit long. Let's go 22 inches on that. And we'll go ahead and measure this from the cut side. And what do we say, a 21? There we go. All right, that should be all the pieces. That looks about right. Okay. So just to check this off, we've got our 30-inch piece. We got 4 of those. We got our 22 and a half, and then we have 21, and 4 of each. So let me just check. That's our 21. This is our 22 and a half. And then the other one I already remeasured, that was our 30. Okay, take those off. All right, now is a good time to hydrate. If you're watching, hydrate. Good stuff. Breath of fresh air here. All righty. Yeah. Okay, let's see. What's the best way to attach these? I think probably putting them sideways a little bit. What I'm going to do is take 2 of each and set these ones aside. All right, now these long pieces, let's find out how they need to go. So here's our model here. So the long pieces are going to go on the inside. The 30-inch pieces are going to go on the inside, and then the 22-inch, 22 and a halves go on the outside. Really important that I don't mess that up, because then otherwise it won't fit. And then afterwards, those 21s will go in the center. And that's just how I decided to do this frame, because it's actually gonna stack a little bit with the seams on the. It should stack with the seams on the thingy. I'm trying to think of the word. The box here, so that I'm not going to have a single seam going straight through all the way. I don't want that to happen. All right, so I think I'm going to try and assemble these frames. Question is, am I going to use pocket screws? These are the short ones. Need the medium-sized ones. There we go. I don't know if I am going to be able to do pocket screws. Well, I could probably do pocket screws from an angle, maybe? So none of these are going to be seen, which is going to be nice. Maybe kind of like that. That's basically how it's going to be. All right, well, let's see what kind of screws I have. Because I could go pocket screws on here. I could go in, I could probably fit 2 on this one, side by side. They'd be pretty close to each other. This is all going to be heavily reinforced when it gets attached to the rest of this stuff here. So let's see what I have. I have these small trim head screws. I don't know if that's really what I want to use though. I guess I wasn't really joking when I said I needed some 1 1/4-inch trim head screws. So I have some 3 1/8. That's way too long for what I need. Way too long. I guess we can just stick with pocket holes. 1.5 inches should be okay for getting 2 in there. Okay, so I'm going to put them in these long ones and going inwards. and we'll see how far we get with that. Okay. If I go like that, you can see it. Do from there. I was smart and I charged up my batteries, so those should be ready to go. Here we go. Batteries. Bam. Drill go. Drill go. Burp burp. That's the joke, isn't it? The dad joke. You can't not plug in a drill or put it in the battery. And then you just have to test it. Like every dad, myself, every woodworker, you get the drill and you just got to give it a couple little to make sure that it's working right. Right? It makes sense. You want to make sure it's working. If it doesn't do that, then it's not working. You need a new battery. All right. Oh, and then I put my drill bits away. I put everything away yesterday. I never do that. Drill bit, driver bit. There we go. A little bit. I didn't put my pocket screws away though. Those are right there. Yeah, when I finish this desk, I'm going to have a much nicer space to sort of like set up and do videos from, I think. I'll have something I can like hang backdrops off of. And I was even thinking out loud with my wife yesterday. I made these, a long time ago, I made these panels, these giant folding frame panels for making into festival booths. And I only used them for 1 year, and I took them into work because I didn't have anywhere else to put them. But I was thinking I can bring 1 or 2 of them back because they're really good for like draping fabric or backdrops or something. So we're talking about making some like roll-up fabric backdrops for these, folding frames so we can use for like photography backgrounds or video backgrounds, or even get some heavy fabric to muffle noise so it doesn't echo so much in here when I'm recording talking heads. So just kind of trying to think about stuff that I've already got. How can I use that to... Oh yeah, I can fit 2 on here. I can definitely fit 2 side by side. Easy. But yeah, I'll be excited for that. Once I have like a nice solid workspace, I can set the camera up, I can sit at, I can do vlogs, like good vlogs. As I say, drilling into the pine is a lot smoother than drilling into the plywood. If you didn't see what the pocket holes looked like previously, they look like this. They're this angled little screw hole like that, and so the screw goes in there, and then you can put something flat to it, another piece of wood flat to this. And then the screw goes in here at an angle, and it holds it together nice and flat, which is what we're going to be going for. A little blurry. Yeah, let's get that back in focus. Double check that. That's looking pretty good. I just want to get the rest of the room in focus. I know it's probably not that you guys probably don't care that much. There we go. nitpicking over little things. Most people probably like, who cares, Lauer? I know. That's that artist curse. You just kind of obsess over little details that nobody else cares about but you. But then, someone asks, oh, what's the secret to your genius? You're just like, I work hard at the fine details, man. The stuff you're not paying attention to. That's why I look so good. Okay, good. I did want those on the same side. Okay. Do a couple more on this side. And then, actually, I think I might do the same on my other pieces. I don't use pocket holes for everything, but I really do like using pocket holes. All right, there's those. And then these short ones are going to need some pocket holes too. So we'll just go ahead and put some in here. I could have, like I said, I probably would have been a lot faster using some trim head screws. Little 1.5 ones. I mean, they go in pretty narrow. You don't really need to pre-drill them in pine because they're so thin, and they probably they'd work just fine, but I don't have any, so. Pocket holes it is. I did tell my wife that she was going to the hardware store and she asked me if I needed anything. I was like, oh yes, and 1.5-inch trim head screws, and yeah, I could actually use them, but I know that she would be agonizing over which ones to get me for way longer than she needs to be there. So. Wait, that's just me who agonizes over purchase decisions. Chuck slipped a little bit. Doing good so far, though. Kids sound like they're having fun. Okay, got those done. I think I'm just going to go ahead and do these guys as well, since I know what I'm doing now. Well, I think I know what I'm doing. In case you're wondering why I'm still wearing safety glasses, 1, it's a habit. 2, it's a good habit. You know, if you never take them off, then you'll never be then you'll never forget about them. You know, if I decide, oh yeah, I messed up on a piece, I need to go recut it, I go pick something up and take it over to that miter saw over there. There's never going to be a situation where I'm like, oh, I forgot to put my safety glasses on because I'm just wearing them. Plus, you just never know when something, like using a drill, probably nothing's going to happen, but probably doesn't help when something does happen. Okay. 2 more. We should be done with pocket screws for a good long while. Hope everybody's doing okay. If you're on spring break or if you're not. Hope things are going well for you. This weekend it will have been a full 2 weeks this Saturday since the wife and I had our second COVID vaccination. So I know it's not a perfect 100% guarantee, but you know, we're going to feel a lot better, and we're actually going to feel much better when they're saying like mid-April or something, it's going to start opening up. Supplies are going to start opening up for most people. I'm going to feel a lot better when that starts happening. Okay. Whoops, forgot that one. All right. It's out of here. It's my little square head drill bit. It's for the pocket screws. Just tuck that away so it's out of the way. Okay, let's see how the stream's doing. We're still in here by ourselves. That's okay. We're still making progress, getting things done. All right. Okay, what else am I going to need? I'm going to need my clamps. Got my Craig jig clamps. Whee! Yeah. Oh, okay. That's not backwards. Cool. So, other brands make these too, but usually when you get a pocket hole set, a good one like from Craig, they'll give you some clamps in there too. Some of the bigger sets. All right. So let's start getting this put together. And we're also going to need some glue, aren't we? Glue and screws, huh? How about it? Let's just take this whole thing out here. Knock everything over. Headphone warning. Okay. That there. It's right there. Okay, so these long pieces, these short guys, actually let's, these short guys are going to go on the inside or outside, I can't remember. Pretty good. Let's check and see if you guys can see okay if you're watching. I'm not going to worry about checking to make sure it's square or anything. I cut these square, and then when I put this in, I'm just going to fit it tight in there anyway, so I'm not being too meticulous about this. Again, this is just going to be a sort of a casual workbench. This workbench is going to allow me to make all the nice precise pieces. By itself, it doesn't need to be super precise. It just needs to be stable and heavy and not go anywhere. Okay. I'm just going to make sure a little glue transfers to that other side. And again, just like I did yesterday, I want to let the glue soak into this end grain a little bit, just for like 20 or 30 seconds or so, and that's going to help make sure that there's enough glue in there. Honestly, these corner joints, they don't need to be super sturdy. I could probably even get away with just taking these pieces and wedging them in here and with some glue and shooting some brad nails in there, and honestly, it'll probably hold just fine, because it's going to be supported by the edge here. But I really wanted to make this frame. I like making frames. Frames are fun. They're simple. It feels good getting back out into the shop. And I haven't spent enough time out here recently, so I don't mind taking a little bit longer. I don't mind if you don't mind. If you mind, well, I guess there's plenty of other things to watch on YouTube. Probably not as interesting. I'm just going to hazard a guess there. Or as educational. Lined up really good, that'd be great. Okay. Clack that down a little bit. Okay. Okay. One down. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. And get some paper towel. I really don't feel like wiping glue on my project. I guess I could, but it doesn't really matter. Excuse me. Okay. Whoop, whoop. Here we go. Yep. All right, 2 more screws. All right. Really important. We got to do a little Instagram story because, that's important. don't want photo, I want video. Nah. Where's video? Won't do video. Why won't you do video? All right. I never know what to say with these things. This is gonna be a weird thing. Hey folks, check it out. We are live right now on YouTube, and we're making things out of pocket screws and stuff and wood. And hey, look, computers. Come check it out. YouTube.com. Mr. Lauer. Do the thing. Oh, that went too long. Okay. How do I delete this one? Trash that. Yeah, that works. All right. So now we got to do. Can we do a link? No. You know, Instagram. I really wish you could do better about linking stuff. That would be awesome. You got this awesome promotional tool, and you're doing nothing with it. I mean, you allow marketplaces, but no one buys from Instagram. Come on. Watch, people are gonna be like, "Oh, I buy from Instagram." Really? Might as well buy off of Craigslist. Weird. All right, there we go. We posted a story on Instagram because, yeah, why not? Still got students turning stuff late. Well, I guess it's better late than never. All right, back at it. Enough boring watching Mr. Lauer play on his phone. Oh well. Okay. Oh, that reminds me, guys. It's time to hydrate. Don't forget to hydrate. Ooh, we're doing good. Agua. Agua is muy delicioso. My Spanish is muy malo. There we go. 2 joints down. 6 more to go. Okay, we'll just flip this guy over. pretty close, actually. We'll just bend that in a little bit, but that's in good shape. I'm liking that. It's always nice when things come together pretty square without having to bend them too much. I like that. All right, since I got both of these, I'm just going to go ahead and put a little glue on the ends of both of them. Just because I want these to soak in a little bit. And just get a little glue transfer on each side here. There we go. That's pretty good. Yeah, so when you're gluing stuff up, especially when you have end grain involved, I like to make it so that I have a few things that I can do. I spread the glue on and then, give it 30 seconds or so. Like I'm putting these screws in right here and just kind of letting that glue soak into the end grain for like 30 seconds or a minute or something. And then go back and put a little more glue on there. First, you have to be careful not to dump your screws out before that happens. Put a little more on this side too. Okay. 2 more joints on this side. Decent enough. Came in a little bit tighter, not tighter, but a little bit in. But that might not be a bad thing. I can put that on the side that was a little tighter anyway. So there's always a way you can make it work in your favor, usually. Okay. I'm just gonna kind of drop this in and see how we're looking. It may be a very tight fit in some spots. Yeah, it's about as I predicted. It's going to be a tight fit on this side. So I can actually, once this glue dries, I can kind of shave a little bit of this end off, and I think that's going to make it sit a little better in there. But yeah, super tight fit. No, that's not a bad thing. This is actually kind of what I was looking for with this. So we will definitely have to put a little effort into making this fit exactly. How's the fit going this way? Whack it with a hammer. That will probably be how we do it. That is going to be, yeah, that's going to be super tight in there. Okay. Yeah, we'll have to take this down a little bit on just on the corners. And what I might end up doing actually is just chamfering the corners here anyway, just so the corners aren't interfering. But yeah, that's going to be very tight, very accurate. But that has to actually sink down a little bit in here, so that's okay. That's not a big deal. But the more I think about this, what I think I want to do with this is, instead of putting these in here, actually, I could get away with just putting these in here right now. Yeah, I might just end up doing that, because they're the right size, and I don't think I'm going to have any problems keeping those in here. Okay. I wasn't going to put these in at first, but the more I think about it, actually, it might be a good idea to do that. So let me just see what the measurements are. I'll have to get these super exactly perfect because nothing really needs to line up with them. And I realize now I didn't get my width distance on here. So let's just pop into SketchUp really quick and see where we're at with this. So we are getting some visitors come in and out. That's okay. Not quite as exciting. I know a lot of you guys wanted to see the kids in here. That's probably what the last 2 days we had kids running around and helping, and that was fun. And now it's just weird old Mr. Lauer. Okay. Well, let's look at our SketchUp anyway. Oops, that's not what I want to do. Our distance should be 9 5/8, and then 9 5/8 here, 9 1/4 there. We'll take it. So we're about 9 5/8 from each side. That'll be acceptable. Okay. All right, I think we can roll with that. We need tape measures over there. And a pencil. Pencil's over here. Actually, I'm going to make it easy on myself. I'm going to measure it from the outside. That way I can hook onto the outside. And 10 3/8. Okay. We'll do 10 3/8 from the outside instead of the inside, and that's actually going to be easier to measure. Okay, lock that down. 10 3/8 right there. 10 3/8. Drop my tape measure. And 3/8 right there, and then we'll do the same thing from the other side. This one just needs to visually line up, just be pretty close. Let's make sure I know which side of the line I'm going to be on. Been there where I put things on the wrong side many times. Yep. Okay. So that's basically going to fit in there. Okay, so right now we are a little bit loose. That's okay. Actually, I have a clamp big enough to handle this. Yeah. Take this out just so it's not going to drop down when I don't want it to. this is just going to provide a little bit of pressure just to keep that keep these pieces from falling out while I'm trying to get them installed. And again, this is going to make it so that I can, if I want to, I can drill through the bottom of these and then put some screws up into the tabletop just to hold it in place. I'll have lots of options for keeping this nice and stable. Okay. Put some glue on there, let that soak in for a minute. Do the same to this side. Again, just getting that glue to soak into the end grain helps a lot. It doesn't need to soak in very long, 30 to 60 seconds or so. Then you just add a little more glue on top of it, and you're in good shape. Check something on here. All right, hey, we got somebody in here. Welcome, welcome. We are just getting this frame together here. Got some glue and some pocket screws. We're about to assemble it. Hope your day's going well. I don't know if you are a student or a subscriber or just some person off the internet, but welcome. Glad you can make it. Always a pleasure having people drop by. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm just, I don't mean to be rude, I'm just trying to focus on getting this all lined up. Preferably keeping it that way. There we go. Reasonably accurate. Okay. Let's see, we get that in there. Let's go ahead and get this other one in place just so it can be in the right spot. Looks like the glue's not really soaking in too much on this pine, this end grain, which is actually okay. I don't mind that at all. That's not a bad thing. Knew that was going to happen. Yeah, this side is just a hair tighter, so I think I have to do this side first. And then tighten it up. Okay, so that one is solid. Woo! Don't fall. This one's going to need just a little bit more glue. That side did soak in just a little. Pocket screws, pocket screws, pocket screws. Yeah, that side is just, sometimes you make frames and you're just kind of throwing them together and it's like, you don't get them perfectly accurate from side to side. And so you get one side, you put these braces in, like one side's a little loose and the other side's not. And you kind of have to squeeze it together, get some friction in there. But that's in there pretty good. Okay, we can get some screws in here. Go ahead and place all our screws, and then we can zip them in there. Somebody's texting me. Let's see, might be the wife. Oh no, it's my brother. My brother sends me memes. I like memes. Memes are good. Memes are life. Yeah, Ben, if you are watching this, your daughter is adorable. They have a little baby. Well, it's not so much a baby anymore. I mean, she is, but a little 1-year-old. My niece, my one and only niece, and she is adorable. Haven't got to meet her because there hasn't really been any travel. Not that I do much travel anyway, but they live across the country, so yeah, that hasn't been a whole lot of traveling happening. All right, let's get this pocketed in here. You're not clacking. Put you down to 8. There we go. It's funny, all this setup and then there's the screws go in like that. Yeah. All that gluing, all that clamping, all the pocket holes, measuring, it all's just kind of for this show right here. And then it's done in like a minute. Crazy how that works. All right, there's one of the frames we set out to build, and yeah, that's gonna fit pretty okay. Again, it's gonna be a little tight, so I'm gonna need to shave off the corners a bit, some of the edges, but I can tell looking at this that it's going to be pretty good. It's fitting in there pretty square. Yeah, just the corners need to come in a little bit. That side, or have it this way. Might have to squish it a little bit, but yeah. So we'll let that glue dry for a bit. Oh, you guys probably want to see that. I'll show that. So there's our frame. Pocket holes, pretty sturdy, mostly straight. Yeah, actually really straight. I usually don't make things that aren't just a little bit crooked, and this one's a little bit crooked, but not by much, not by very much at all. Pretty flat. Good. All right, that's what we want. That's what we're looking for. Okay, now we got to do it all again. So good thing I did the pocket holes on the other one. Here I'm thinking like, oh man, am I really going to need a whole week to do this? Yes. Of course, I am taking my time, so that does change the equation just a little bit. I'm not exactly speeding through this super fast, but that's okay. I'm being safe, taking my time, thinking it through, not making a lot of mistakes, knock on wood. And yeah. Alright, but what I am going to do is start getting some of the glue soaking in on these ends first. Now that I'm pretty confident with how this is going, I can afford to speed things up a little bit. Drip some glue there. Put a little glue on these ends. I can go ahead and put some glue on the other ends too. I mean, it'll be a little bit to set up, but I'm going to be going a bit quicker with this. So it's not like it's going to be sitting around and getting completely dry before I get to it. I need to do some more game streaming. I did my first one on Friday, this past Friday, on Twitch. First ever Twitch stream, and it was a lot of fun. Had some folks come by. Some old friends actually came by too. And then I also had some of my Rust friends come in. Was it Monday or Tuesday, to say hi to this stream, which was really nice. That was a lot of fun. And then what is it? Tomorrow's April 1st, April Fool's Day. Don't forget. We are going to be streaming tomorrow. We're going to be back at 9 a.m. Tomorrow. I'm talking like I'm finishing up, but actually I still have a little ways to go here. So, but I think I might want to try and do a little bit of streaming tonight because I still got some stuff to do in Valheim. And then tomorrow is going to be a big force wipe for Rust, which is another game I enjoy playing. And I haven't played it in like 2 months, so I think me and some of the boys, some of the guys, might get together and play a little bit of Force Wipe. That ought to be fun. Okay. Now, what I got to remember to do, well, I guess I could go up from the other side. I was going to say there's 2 frames in here. I'm going to have to put in one from, both of them from the top, but I realize I can come up from the bottom on there. So it's not a big deal. Not that big deal. Good. Don't want to give you guys a show. Glue on there. That definitely needs it. I'm also pretty behind on video editing. I wanted to get some stuff done this weekend. Didn't happen earlier this week. Hasn't happened yet. And I say it hasn't happened. I haven't done it. It's not like video editing doesn't just happen, you know. You got to actually put in the effort. I like doing it. It's just I've been spending time with the family in the evenings. You know, that's usually my game playing time, or video editing time, or computer time, what have you. But I've just been spending some time with family, which is nice. I mean, you got to do that. It's spring break, so. But I do need to get back into some video editing because I've got plans, man. I've got plans. Mans with plans. And Valheim, I think I'm just about ready to fight the 3rd boss, the swamp boss. I gotta see what's good about that. I haven't really been watching any spoilers, so I don't really know what I'm in for. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I've got some really strong arrows. Kind of kind of bit of a stealth archer. Give it the old Skyrim special, stealth assassin. But this is the second. Actually, the bosses have been really easy so far. Honestly, I don't think I've died once to any of the bosses yet. Well, I've only fought the first two, so could be worse than I'm imagining. But yeah, it's just honestly a lot of like kiting, running back and forth sort of thing. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Oh, tripped over my glue. This is why you want to keep your floor clean. You end up tripping over glue. Let's get some screws here. Let's clamp down. Going to be getting to that time of year pretty soon, next couple months, where I'm going to have to, all the grass is growing. We live not like full wilderness, but definitely on a hill. A bunch of grass and stuff, and I have to trim all of it up once a year around May, before the end of May. So, oh, that moved quite a bit. Not happy with that. Come on, clamp. I think this clamp slipped on me a little bit, which happens. Tighter. And then, so I made that tighter, but I'm going to do the top screw instead. Let's see if we can get this bottom one to find a different hole. Yeah, it's not perfect, but it'll do. Happens sometimes with pocket screws, and you don't have everything clamped down from every angle. Sometimes they move on you. And then it's kind of like, well, dang it. This one I can tell is going to be a little bit off. There's not a lot I can do about it right now, other than put a screw in it. That's okay. It's all going to get wedged in there anyway, and not the end of the world. Might be able to. Oh, you know what I could probably do? Where's my square? Hold that in there. Need like a third hand or something, but I can make this happen. It out a little bit and then lock it down. Okay. That one's a little wobbly, but again, it's not the end of the world. It's not really going to hurt anything long term. How are we fitting on this? Oh yeah, same thing. It's a little tight, but again, that's not a bad thing. I may have to, once that glue dries off, to take the corners off just a little bit. But again, that's not a bad thing. It just means it's gonna fit nice and snug the way I want it. Okay. So lastly, we just have these things to put in. And we do have to remeasure, although I bet, since this is just going to be a copy of the one above it, I could probably just get away with copying my marks over. Save me a trip for my tape measure. Yep. Yes, sir. That is going to work. That's what we like to see. Lovely when you have an idea and it's just like, I bet this is going to work, and it does. And you're happy. Love that feeling. Okay, here we go. Get these guys, get some glue on these, let it set in a little bit. How loose is this? And kind of loose. It's actually good that this fit in loose because it's going to bring the front and back in just a little bit. And if you remember that, this is fitting in tight, so it's actually going to help compensate for that. It's a happy little coincidence there. I say coincidence like I didn't design it like that, because I totally did. You know, just little tricks you pick up along the way when you're thinking, oh yeah, it's a little tight on this side, so I'm going to make this a little bit loose. It's a little loose on this side, I'm going to tighten it up over here. Cut this a little bit bigger. You know, it's good to have plans too, but you know, as you work and you introduce little errors or even changes into your plans as you go, being able to adapt and compensate. You know, 1/4 inch here, 1/16 of an inch there, 1/8 of an inch here. Just depends on what your needs are. Okay. Just tighten that enough so that that holds in there. Also going to put this one in. I'm just looking at this visually, and something seems a little bit out of alignment, and it may very well be the case. Or it might not be. It could just be my eyes, since this is sitting crooked on this this piece. So let's see. We are 10 3/8 and 10 3. I mean, we are not out of alignment. We are dead on. I think what it actually is that since this is sitting kind of slanted a little bit, that was just creating an optical illusion and throwing me off a little. Plus, I got my hair in my face right now. That's not helping. Yeah, we're at 10 3/8 there, and 10 3/8 there. I mean, we're not off. This one needs to get on the mark a little bit. Ten 3/8. 10 3/8. We're accurate. Accuracy or precision, I can't remember which is switch. Okay, let's go ahead and get all our screws in here and finish up these frames. And since we're going to need to let the glue dry a bit, I mean, I could come back. I'll probably come back a little bit later today or tonight off stream and just cut these down so they fit. Because we got bigger and better things to do tomorrow that we could be doing, I think. Hope everybody's doing good so far. All right, 8 more screws. Here we go. All right, we got all. Didn't miss any. Sometimes I miss some. It happens. Yeah. There we go. Okay. There's another frame. Looks pretty good. This one, how straight is this? Oh, this one's also pretty straight. Yeah, it's funny. It's a little crooked when you put like the corners on. As soon as you get the middle part in, it straightens up quite nice. Yeah, that's pretty even, guys. And I can put these two on just like this, and they're pretty much carbon copies of each other. I mean, I can see a few, like, might be off like a 16th here or there, but, you know, that's that's pretty decent. 2 of these, set them up side by side, and let's see what happens if I flip them. Sometimes when you flip them, you compound some difference. Yeah, I can tell there is a little bit of difference when I flip them over. Just a hair off in some spots. You probably can't even see it on the camera. Maybe you can, but again, it's not something that can't be squeezed into this box when I assemble it all. So this is going to be perfectly fine for what it is. It's going to support this really good. So just to recap where these are going. So one of these is going to drop in the top right here once I get the ends shaved down a little bit to fit. That'll go in the top there, and that's going to help support the bench top, the tabletop when it goes on top there. And plus, I have the option to sort of drill up into here, and I have more attachment points to attach the work surface to make it sturdier. And then the bottom here is going to go in down here. I'll flip the whole thing over and put it in from underneath, and that's actually going to line up a little bit, line up somewhat with the with this right here. So actually, that's, I think, according to my plans, I have it lining up with the bottom right here. And then that's going to provide some support for a shelf. Like I'm not going to use it as a shelf to like put stuff, but like a footrest. So I'm going to put some slats across there, and that'll be like a little foot shelf in there, footrest, so I can put my feet in here and use it as a desk, an art station, a computer station, computer desk when I want to, and then other times I can stand up and use it as a woodworking bench, like I desperately need. I really need a workbench. So yeah, it's not so bad. Pretty square. I'm not so worried about square. I care more about stability and level. Hey Scott, you just came at the right time. I pretty much just finished up. I just finished doing the frames for right there. So yeah. So I guess I need to hang around for a bit. I'm gonna do a little bit of cleanup, and then we'll go from there. So I don't need those anymore. How you been, Scott? How's your Wednesday going? Let's see. We'll leave our glue over here. Tape measure we'll leave here. Put my pocket hole stuff away. I may be using it again, but maybe not for a little while. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Got to remember to charge my batteries. These batteries are kind of old. They don't last quite as long. That's kind of how it is when you get older. The older you get, you don't last as long. Don't think too hard about that. These put away. This is trash. Put that in there. Put my pencil over here. So I remember to have it. This glue brush can get put away. Yeah, I'll sign out in a bit. I'm just cleaning up, but yeah, it's all good. That's what replays are for, honestly. Nice thing is, you miss a live stream, you never really miss it. I was saying earlier in the stream that my son just finally saved up enough money for his first video game, Mario Maker 2. And they're in there playing it right now, taking some turns. And I mean, he's only 5, and his ability to play video games is like, he still has trouble with certain things, but oh man, his ability for a 5-year-old to play video games is insane. Like he's 5 years old. He can beat the first world of Super Mario Brothers 1. Like he can beat Bowser on the first world. He's played Super Mario 3. He can get all the way to the little mini boss castle, the Boom Boom Castle, and he can beat that on his own. It's insane. Hey, Lil, what's up? Do you want to come and say hi? I was just about to finish up the stream. Do you want to say hi?
Sure.
Yeah, go say hi.
What you got going on?
I'm just doing some cleanup.
Oh, I see you finished your other frames.
Yeah, I did the 2 frames. I gotta wait for some glue to dry before I can do other stuff, so I figured it's a good stopping point.
So you're gonna assemble everything tomorrow and feel everything, paint everything and all that, and this other stuff that's on your checklist?
Yeah, we'll get started on that. We'll work our way down. So yeah, actually now that let's get this checklist done. OBS. All right. Task items. Okay. So we only have one thing on the list here that we did today, but it was a lot of precision, so it takes time. And then actually, so we have corner trim on here. I'm also going to put, what's the word? I'm running out of space on my my checklist here. Install frames, because I still haven't installed the frames. One of my viewers says hi. His name's Scott. All right. That's in pretty good shape with that. Okay, just a few more things to clean up here, and we'll call it a day.
I have a quick question.
What's up, dude? Is Lancey's video game turn up? Yeah. Everyone's video game turn is up?
Yeah.
Did you guys have fun? Did you get to play Mario Maker?
Yeah. I played Mario Maker.
Did you guys play nicely with each other?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes or no?
Let's clean up this wood here.
Want some help?
I pretty much got it, but thank you for offering.
I see the new thing you did to your desk.
What did I do? Oh yeah, I did that yesterday after you guys left. After you guys got bored.
It's not like I got bored, it's just that
Get
the
it?
smell kept...
You got bored?
Oh, board of wood!
Because it's a board. More like a stick, but you know.
More like,
Yeah.
something.
You decided not to stick around.
It would be more funny if you were holding a stick.
But
Well, I guess
what's
wood
that?
It's a rectangular prism made out of wood.
This kid. Rectangular prism, folks. Alright, guys.
A skinny rectangular prism, but it is very tall.
Yeah.
And that's
All right. All right. I'm just going to ratio myself a little bit here. How do we do on time? Oh, wow, 2:24. Okay, that's a pretty solid stream there, guys. I'm not disappointed at that at all. I think that was pretty good. Okay, so tomorrow we need to install those frames, and actually, I haven't decided. I might do that tonight. I might wait till tomorrow. I guess it doesn't really matter when. We're also going to need to do some trim for the corners because I kind of want to do that before I paint it. But now I'm thinking about it. I might do the trim afterwards, to be perfectly honest with you, because then I can do some different things. I don't know. I'm going to figure it out. So we may get a little bit off of our order on our checklist, but who knows? Maybe we can actually start getting some primer on this thing tomorrow so that we can paint it.
When are you gonna do your next stream tomorrow?
Tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific time.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. I don't know if I'll be joining you with that, but I think I probably could. I'm always up for painting.
Yeah. Well, you're my kid, so if I tell you to join me, you'll have to join me.
But it'll be just, I'm going to make sure I don't miss the painting part.
Yeah, you don't want to miss the painting part.
I love painting.
She does love painting. It's true.
It's one of my most favorite things in the world.
Yeah, one of my viewers says he's not a fan of the dad jokes. Well, that's just too bad.
I like dad jokes, even though I don't know much of them.
You just don't get them.
Because they're weird.
Someday
And
when
I'm weird.
Someday when you're a dad, you'll understand.
Girls can't be dads. girls can be moms.
I'm sure there's some subtlety and nuance that we could unpack there. But yes, generally you're right. Okay, guys. So next stream tomorrow morning, 9 p.m., 9 a.m. Pacific time, or whatever time that works out in your corner of the world. We have some more stuff to do on here, but we are getting pretty close to having a finished desk base. And then we'll have to figure out what to do for the top. So that's gonna be interesting. All right, guys, have a good one, and I will see you tomorrow.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
So is the stream over?